She has friends everywhere.
All right, good evening and welcome to tonight's P and Z meeting, Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. First on the agenda is approval of the minutes from, gosh, is that right? September 24th? Wow, good for us. So we've had plenty of time to look them over and.
That's fine.
You fine? Can I entertain a motion?
Yep.
Have a motion to approve
I'll second.
and a second.
Excuse me, Scott, you were absent that meeting.
Well, I know I was there because my name's Rich.
September 24th. I'll second.
Okay, here we go.
Aye.
No, your name is Rich.
Rob? Gloria?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
And okay, next on the agenda is public comment where we give the members to speak to the commission regarding matters not on the agenda tonight. Give them 15 minutes for items that are not on the agenda or currently pending before the Planning and Zoning Commission. A couple folks out in the audience. You guys want to come up and say anything?
I do have a thing to say.
Yeah, come
So,
on.
it's
Come up here to the microphone, give it your
What?
name, give it your
Oh,
address.
I have to talk in the mic.
Yeah,
You can-
name and address.
Name and address.
Okay, well,
And it's Christmas, only 3 minutes.
Anything not on the
well,
agenda?
happy Hanukkah. And I live at 2351 Orchard Avenue. And today I had a little bit of an issue. And I guess I'm maybe at the wrong committee, but I was coming up over the hill at the end of Orchard. It's a very steep hill. And one of the neighbors that lives up there has some kind of weekly meeting. I don't know what they do. Maybe it's a bridge club or something like that. It's the middle of the day. And there was a bazillion cars parked on both sides of the road. And it's a busy traffic time of year with deliveries. The UPS guy was coming up over the hill as I was coming up over the hill. And it was a like slam on the brakes situation because there's no shoulder, there's nowhere to go because there were cars lighting both sides. So I did ask the neighbor to please not park on both sides of the road at least. So we just are gonna be seeing a lot more traffic on our street. Either we need to like put no parking up there or restrict one side or
Yeah.
build a shoulder so that these incidents stop happening. It's happened. We've lived there for 20 some years. It's just getting worse.
Yeah, we know exactly what you're talking about. That's been brought up several times and whatever goes on out that direction. So
Yeah.
who we should go
Joel's on
talk
the
to?
Transportation Commission.
Oh,
There's
well,
a guy
Joel,
right
you live
there.
on Orchard, as we all know, and so do we. So it's all in the neighborhood. Everybody knows this hill is an issue. And I don't know. I don't know what to do other than ask them to not park in the road, which I can't do.
Remind me, at that point, there's probably no curbs.
There's no curbs, and it's basically
No
a
curb,
little
no
bit
sidewalk,
wider
nothing.
than a one-lane
You're
road. If you're
outside of
passing the
city
hill
limits.
and another car's going over, you have to go on the edge of the road into the
I
dirt.
think that's what Nels was gonna ask. Are you outside the city limits?
I live outside the city limits, but the people that are causing this traffic issue are in the city limits. So one side of the road is the county, one side of the road is the city. But technically, I think the city has domain over the road. So I don't think that the people that are causing this issue are in the city. So I think you could tell them to not have people parking there at least, or widen the road. Like it needs to be really wide.
Yeah.
Like it needs a sidewalk. It's super dangerous. I've almost been hit on that hill walking, and I'm aware I don't have like earbuds in or anything like that you would see kids with. Like I'm just up there with my dogs and have had many incidences of people going extremely fast. And if there's cars up there, it's very narrow. And yeah, it's just, I think we're going to see a big increase in traffic. So I just really want to encourage people to think about this.
I honestly think everyone's aware, but it kind of reminds me of the public street that just went through a big renovation with
Yeah.
sidewalks on
Public
both.
street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
kinda
they have
reminds me
sidewalks
of
now,
that. Eventually,
part of the way.
Hopefully it gets done. It just takes time. I think they're aware of it. If they're not, they're, yeah.
Yeah, I just, Woodbury's, growing. I don't know how
Yeah, no.
quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Seems very slow, but they are increasing the traffic on our road with very large trucks. And granted, this was a UPS truck, but we have a ton of deliveries in our neighborhood. I mean, there are neighbors that get deliveries every single day. And those trucks are driving fast this time of year. And we don't have snow right now, so that's very lucky.
We're aware
But
of it. Yeah, I think,
but it does get narrow with the snow. Also, one of the people that lives up there parks their car in the road because they can't get to their house because they don't have a 4-wheel drive car. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring it up.
all right. No, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Anyone else?
I'll go to family.
Just your name and your address and go from there.
My name.
That's Brad Jekyll, 2351 Orchard Avenue. I'm with her. Little different issue.
What was her name?
That's Kate. This is more of a question, and it is concerning about the Woodbury development. So, and I probably could dig through, the agendas and the meeting notes from the past, but I'm a little behind the ball. But what I noticed when I'm looking at the annex of that development, it's only the area that is currently being under construction. But when they publish the official development area, it goes all the way over to Arborcrest. So the question is, what's the timeline for that annexation to happen? Or am I misreading that?
Yeah, they've just annexed really the first phase of that subdivision. And so future phases, will be just that, let's be in the future, but we don't really have a timeline. We don't have any applications right now as to, how they're going to phase it over a certain number of years. I think my indication is that they're planning on the next phase connecting to that portion of Arborcrest, but just with another small portion, not the entire thing. But we don't really have a timeline. I think last time I talked to that developer, is anticipating maybe sometime next year going through at least the process. So the process takes a little while to get through. Right. Just for preliminary, it's about 4 months. And then you got to go back for final approval and all that. It takes about, all in all, about a year to get through.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of related to what Kate was bringing up, just with the increased traffic from the construction that's happening now. They're either coming down Orchard and shooting up Lanny to get to Sloniker, or they're coming all the way down Orchard to Trail and then coming in the back way. So I'm just curious what that timeline was. So thank you.
Hey, anyone else want to come up? Not so much?
I'd introduce myself. I think everyone knows me.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how government works.
So we'll go on to number 3 and the potential duplex code amendments. Mike?
Well, this is just as it sounds. So looking at maybe some potential code amendments for the commission's consideration here for 2-family dwellings throughout the city. And recently we've had some issues with some building permit applications and construction plans that we've submitted to our office that have represented 2-family dwellings, which the application has indicated, as well as the plans, but they're designed and leased as multifamily dwellings. It appears these structures are being represented as 2-family dwellings to avoid things such as ADA, accessibility, life safety, off-street parking requirements for multifamily, and other federal, state, local building standards that apply to multifamily dwellings. So within multifamily dwellings, there's requirements for fire alarm suppression systems, accessible units with accessible site amenities, so accessible parking spaces, accessible routes to the public sidewalk and building entrances that are on the ground floor, and then off-street parking and common open space requirements as well. 2-family dwellings don't require the fire alarm or suppression systems or the ADA requirements, and they have a much lower parking requirement. No ADA parking is required either. So just going through kind of our definitions that we currently have: single-family dwelling, a detached building or manufactured home designed for and occupied exclusively by one family. And so you have to kind of follow these and look at these in concert, but it always comes back to kind of the definition of a family. There's 2-family dwelling, building containing 2 kitchens and designed to be occupied by 2 families living independently of each other. Multifamily dwelling is a building designed house 3 or more families living independently. So essentially, multifamily is 3 or more dwellings within a single building and have one yard in common. And then a dwelling unit, which would apply to all these, a building or portion thereof, providing complete housekeeping facilities for one family. Then we get to the definition of family, which is really broad. You can tell we've had various issues over I think this was inherited when I first got here. So this was, about 20 years old. But we've had various instances of needing to define what exactly a family is. And so at the beginning of this definition, go through kind of what's related, what family is not. So society, club, fraternity, sorority, etc. And then there shall be no more than one family per dwelling unit unless otherwise permitted by the code. And then we go through, you may recall the dwelling unit having housekeeping unit within that definition. So living together as a single housekeeping unit shall mean where all occupants of the dwelling unit enjoy a common right to use the entire dwelling, despite informal arrangements among members to designate certain areas as individual sleeping spaces, and where such persons share household living arrangements, including but not limited to rental or mortgage payments, utility payments, groceries, chores, maintenance of the premises, and common sanitary living and cooking supplies or facilities. So, the group of people living together, sharing all these housekeeping units, enjoying the common right for the entire dwelling. Even though you may have your own room, you still can access the kitchen, living areas, just like everybody else. Then we go through a definition of what related by blood is. But this is really how we define the different characteristics of a family. So one or more related persons living together in a single housekeeping unit and dwelling unit. So essentially an unlimited number of related people can live in a dwelling unit. Not more. This is what we typically run into when there's unrelated people. So not more than 4 persons living together as a single housekeeping unit when the persons are not related to each other. So that's 4 unrelated. And then there's a scenario where there's 2 related persons and then however many related to them. So that would essentially be me and my family, and Rich and his family essentially could fall under the definition of family per this definition. And then per state code, 8 or fewer unrelated mentally or physically handicapped or elderly persons, so up to 8, and then 2 resident staff on site. So this is more fair housing in that definition as well. So then we go on to define a kitchen, which is rather broad. Any rooms used or intended or designed to be used for cooking and or preparation of food.
Sorry, Mike, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So these definitions, are these in city code or are these just kind of like just trying to define what?
Yeah, these are currently in city code. Yeah, in the zone
Okay,
code.
thanks.
Yep.
No question.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, the E, where you have 8 or fewer. Okay, so you're supposed to have a resident supervised. You're supposed to have,
You can or you
could be
don't
a-
have to.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that-
there
I
can or
wanted
can't
that
be. You're
clear.
able to have a couple additional people reside in there that doesn't count as the 8. But, under Fair Housing Act, you can submit a reasonable accommodation to probably exceed that 8 if you wanted to.
and supervision could be from the outside, not necessarily
Yeah,
be resident.
yeah, correct. So these are kind of the initial, so this is when it first started to occur, so a few years ago. We started to permit some duplexes that you can see this is the first floor and the 2 sides. You enter, actually what do we got going on here? Yeah, you enter the structure and
Does it have 2 entrances? I have not seen it.
That's the second floor, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but, okay.
I don't see a door to the outside.
No,
That
I
one
see
does.
that.
That one has.
there's the door. So it's kind of a split level here.
Oh,
So this is the first floor and this is the second floor. But they're showing the door kind of on that split level right there. And there's a deck on this side up to it. So
There's 2 doors?
there's just one.
Oh,
There's sliders on each of these bedrooms, so it's like a sliding glass door in these locations. Provides access to the first floor on the outside. But yeah, essentially you come in the front door here and you go down to those bedrooms and then up to the living kitchen, another bedroom up on this floor. So this is the first kind of set of plans that we started to see sinks kind of being moved in. So you can see like the bathroom here, this is one bedroom, the sink kind of being moved out into the bedroom area. And then these other bedrooms are more apparent. You've got a sink in this area as well, like a mini refrigerator, kind of a desk countertop area. And I think this is supposed to indicate like a microwave, but no 220 connection, no kind of permanent cooking facilities, more just, temporary. Same thing. So over here, you've got the refrigerator, microwave, as well as a sink in the bathroom. Then you have common washer and dryer situation here. I think there's one over here as well. So then you go up the second floor. This is kind of a common duplex. You got the kitchen, living area, and then this bedroom doesn't have those amenities with the sink and the cabinetry or the refrigerator in that. So these kind of evolved. So these are another set of plans that we received within the last couple of years. You can see that. So I think this is 4 stories. This is the kind of the basement, but this is the first floor. This is the main entrance here. You come into a common stairwell area. There's the kitchen, which is located, dining and living area located in this floor. You can go downstairs. Essentially looks like the same footprint. From the stairwell, you go into the unit here, and they've got a sink, some cabinetry, and a refrigerator. So that goes up to the second, the third floor. So pretty much just mirrors those other floors. From the common stairwell, you go into the bedroom, is what they're calling it, and they have the sink and the refrigerator and the cabinetry here, as well as these are, I think, supposed to indicate stackable washer and dryers. And then there's a 4th floor, so about 5 floors in height, given the foundation as well. And the same scenario here. So we've got a sink, cabinetry, stackable washer and dryer, and a fridge. And then the stairwell ends up leading up to a rooftop patio. But so you look at this situation, and yeah, I mean, it technically meets the definition of a 2-family dwelling. It's all connected, but you can easily, rent out these spaces separately. Just use the common stairwell, have a door accessing these unit, and we've had some code enforcement activity where has indicated that the kitchen unit has turned into more of an Airbnb. So this has been pretty much a door has been blocking this off, and the structure has been used essentially as a multifamily dwelling, which is permitted as a duplex structure. So looking at the parking requirements, so 2-family is 2 spaces plus 1 for every bedroom in excess of 4 bedrooms. 4 parking spaces are required for this structure because you have a kitchen in one of the levels, and then there's 4 bedrooms on the next 4 levels. Multifamily, you look at 1.25 spaces per studio or 1-bedroom apartment, essentially the equivalent of what these bedrooms are. 13 spaces are required. So quite a bit more. Yeah, and no, some of those common facilities that you'd typically see with a multifamily apartment complex. So this is another more recent floor plan that was submitted to our office. You can see, follow the first floor, coming in the front of the structure, front entrance. These are doors which access kind of both sides of these bedrooms. Each bedroom contains the sink as well as the microwave and a refrigerator and a bathroom. And then these are stackable washer and dryers in each one of the bathrooms. You go out to the common stairwell there, go up the second floor, essentially the same layout. Each one of these bedrooms has complete housekeeping facilities, which would constitute a separate dwelling. And then you go up to the third floor. They've even gone to the extent of within the stairwell, adding a stove and, other cooking appliances here to say that that's access for all of the bedrooms in order to be able to use essentially the kitchen area off the side of the stairwell. So this is another bedroom that has complete housekeeping facilities with a refrigerator and the stackable washer and dryer in the bathroom. So we're looking at potentially doing some amendments to the zoning code to address this, to make it explicitly clear what is and what's not allowed. So first would be amending the dwelling unit definition. So currently, a building or portion thereof providing complete housekeeping facilities for one family. And we would propose adding housekeeping facilities provide permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation shall be limited to one kitchen and one washer and dryer set per dwelling unit unless otherwise permitted by this code. So within single-family dwellings, which we really haven't had this issue, you get a large single-family dwelling. Some people want a second kitchen that could be canning kitchen or brewing. We've typically permitted a second kitchen with a deed restriction, essentially just stating that we're knowingly permitting a second kitchen, but you have to abide by the definition of family. There can't be any separate, communication. It has to communicate throughout the entire structure. Can't be used as a two-family dwelling. And we record that against the property to put future owners on notice about that. And so we would still, since we do that as typically as a policy right now, we would put that language in any code amendment if we were to do one, just to still have that option for single family
So
dwellings.
how does this work with an ADU if you've got a single family dwelling with an ADU, which would have all these other facilities? Is it
An ADU is a separate dwelling unit, so they'd be allowed to have another kitchen. and
even if
washer.
we've seen some cases where the ADU is actually in that.
Like in the basement.
Facility,
or
yeah.
There's a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're complete separate dwellings.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
there's
that's,
no-
this isn't in conflict with
Well,
it.
so if in the basement you have grandma with all the separate stuff, it's two kitchens.
It's a separate
So
unit.
that's an ADU and you're calling it a separate dwelling. What are you calling it? It's an ADU, but
Well, there's two different scenarios. So you can have an ADU, which is it may be within the house, but it's completely walled off and separate from the main dwelling with an exterior entrance. There's not supposed to be any internal door connecting any other portion of the house. There has to be a
so
separate
you can't
entrance.
have it in the basement and then to have a door going upstairs.
No, not with an ADU situation.
Okay.
So this is what I'm talking about with the additional kitchen. So say you have an up-down house, there's the kitchen upstairs, you go down the internal stairs into like a den area. Somebody wants to put a kitchen down in that area, it still communicates between the upstairs and the downstairs. We typically allow that in a single-family dwelling as long as you do a deed restriction, pretty much
Like
saying
some
that it
people
still
like
has
put a
to.
bar in the basement and then they got a fridge and then they.
Well, you have
microwave.
Yeah, I mean, larger houses, maybe you have a wet bar for
Yeah.
entertaining, and then you have the living room. And so those are fairly common, but it all comes down to the definition of family. So
Okay.
even if you have two kitchens in a single house, as long as you're abiding by the definition of family, then and there's no separate, access, it's all communicating internally,
Okay.
then you're fine.
Yeah,
Our
because
builder-
evidently when you've got washer dryer, several different washer dryers and you've got, that's a clue. That this is not
Yeah, yeah.
just a duplex.
Our builder
Not like
referred
on
to it
F
as
Street.
a hors d'oeuvre preparation area. Not a kitchen.
Yeah, so like on F Street where they're, or on North Pope, where there's duplexes, they're very clearly separate families in each half. That's not multiple families, so.
Yeah.
Because it's, okay. But this is an animal by another color.
So that's what, we plan on adding on to the definition of the dwelling unit there. And then looking at, I mean, right now our definition's real broad for a kitchen, any room used or intended or designed to be used for cooking or preparation of food. So we expand on that to say that that portion of a dwelling devoted to preparation or cooking of food for the purposes of consumption by residents of the dwelling unit, any food preparation area with cooking facilities. So an example, stove, oven, hot plate, and or microwave oven, refrigerator, sink, or with a natural gas stub or supply or a 220 volt electrical outlet wiring as a kitchen for the purposes of this code.
And the 220 could be for a dryer or.
It could, but I mean, you would,
Allowing washer dryers in bedrooms.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you have laundry facilities, you show that on the plan. Yeah, you can have a 220 connection because you've got a washer and dryer here. But having a 220 connection in every bedroom of the house, there's no reason for that, right? Or a natural gas.
You don't need a
stove to-
220 connection for a washer and dryer anymore either, though.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
they're pretty fancy, but yeah. Actually.
So this is just to try to get in front of, things that are roughed in or stubbed in the wall. And then after we leave, maybe don't necessarily need a permit for. Cabinetry doesn't need a permit. So, but certainly, you run a pipe for a sink or 220 connection for a stove, then it's fairly easy just to install those after we do a final inspection of the dwelling. So. And then adopt the building code definition of a bedroom. So right now, our definition in zoning code is a room within an apartment unit other than a living room, kitchen, bathroom, eating area, or utility room, which may be used for sleeping purposes. Building code definition is a room other than a living room, kitchen, or bathroom containing an egress window and minimum of 70 square feet of floor area with no horizontal dimension less than 7 feet. And then looking at some language, just talking about, sinks, final or rough-in plumbing or other plumbing features that could be reasonably expected to permit or allow the installation of a sink shall not be permitted within any bedroom. Bedrooms shall not be permitted to have separate or independent means of ingress and egress and shall be accessed from open common areas other than stairwells. So yeah, this is, intended to be discussion here. We want to hear all sides of how this is going to affect.
An in-suite bedroom is gonna have sink, plumbing. I mean, how does
Oh, an
that,
ensuite, yeah.
I mean,
It has a
how
sink.
is that gonna square with that definition? I mean, that's not an uncommon thing, especially in single-family dwellings, but I would think that even in multifamily, if you've got a master bedroom, you gotta,
You got an ensuite, yeah.
I would, in my experience, it's usually an area separated from the main bathroom or master bedroom.
It seems,
I wouldn't put a sink in a sleeping room.
I thought, if you're really civilized, you'd like a sink in your bathroom. You need to wash your face. You might want to spit.
Well,
Hello.
I'm not saying you can't put it in a bathroom. You can't put it in the bedroom.
So trying to avoid having,
Yeah, well,
having
that's what I'm
kitchen
saying.
That's an
In the bedroom,
Separate.
He wants a sink in the
He
bathroom,
wants a
not
sink in the bathroom. He doesn't want a kitchen sink in the bedroom, is what he's trying to avoid.
You have to build a
That's what we're
bathroom.
really trying to avoid. I mean, I need like 15 minutes.
bathroom
to, like,
sink
read
in the
these things,
bedroom
'cause I
would
think
be
I could still
okay.
get around it.
What's that?
I mean,
bathroom, a little sink in the bedroom is okay, just not a kitchen sink.
No,
Well,
no sink in the bedroom. But in the bathroom, it's okay.
well, maybe we just need to clarify.
You better come over to my house.
yeah, because I have what I do have the toilet, the shower, and the sink in one part of the bathroom, and that door shuts. But then there's the area outside, which is the vanity, and it's got the mirrors, and that locks. That's part of the bathroom. But that was so that my son could use the bathroom while his sister was doing her.
Yeah, but we have a bunch of apartments that have like just the toilet and a shower in one room. And then like really the bath is in, because it's a 1 bedroom. I mean, it is there, but I mean, it was all built like multifamily like it's supposed to be, but it would not be allowed in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Well, it's-
unusual to have
allowed in
no
multifamily.
door between
Not allowed in
your
duplex.
bedroom.
I know, but I could see an instance where you're
Especially
actually
with
built.
older people, when there's accessibility, or my friend in a
Yeah.
wheelchair now, there's no door in her
No.
bathroom from her bedroom.
Yeah, but is it an apartment that you're referring to? Or is
Yes. So is this only in
This is in dwell, yeah.
is this in the zone? This is going to be in the zoning code,
we'd propose to amend put it in the zoning code.
but where in the zoning code? Not in multifamily?
Now, this is
Apply to
duplex.
Multifamily.
It
So,
would only be in the duplex zone? Okay. All right. This is a lot.
This
I'm
is-
trying to,
The duplex, so that you don't make it multifamily.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking of ways to get around this.
Yeah.
I understand the problem.
Well,
There's
like
still
he
ways
says,
to get
if you
around
Stub
this.
in the gas and you stub in, then.
well, I mean, if the commission chooses to proceed with the code amendment and direct staff, then I fully intend to bring a draft showing the code and how we change. So
Get a
we
little
can
more time
so
to
we
think
can-
about this. Okay,
Yeah, this
okay.
is not, I'm not asking you to approve something tonight.
But this was an accelerated thing. It was the memo I got.
Too
so-
much to absorb all
Yeah, I
at
was
once
going,
here.
where's the proposal?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Got it.
I mean,
Okay.
So we have to
First
find a way to
commission-
define it differently from,
Well, this is just his first stab at it.
This
We're
is-
just talking about
This is
if
just,
we're going to continue. on.
we're just talking through kind of the issue and maybe what we would propose to change in order to address it. But yeah, I mean, if the commission decides that it's worthy to take up, then we'd certainly come back with a,
you know,
some
this
type of.
definite, this is definitely not just a duplex. I mean, obviously.
Well, this is a huge,
Well,
It needs to be multifamily, yeah.
and it's a huge safety issue here, huge.
And so, we have a number, so in R3, R4 zones, in RO, we allow multiple structures per lot. So in those residential zones, you can, if you have enough lot area, you can have a single family and a duplex, or a single family and a single family. So we allow these multiple structures, and so you can see this has primarily happened along the core, between the university and downtown, Alman Asbury area, north of 6. But you can see there's numerous structures that have been developed behind
Behind the old.
there's usually an older house and the structure's developed behind that. You can go up, and this is 3rd Street. And yeah, these are all older houses where the structure's developed behind it. And, this is the same scenario. They're not required to meet ADA requirements or anything like that. So ends up developing a whole host of kind of parking issues as well as, open space. So, I mean, if you look at how these are crammed in here, there's only 6 feet of separation between each of these structures, which meets building code requirements. And it meets setbacks for the entire lot, but you end up with essentially just parking everywhere and no opportunity for any open space. All the residents that are living between like these 4 structures on that lot.
Those particular ones are ones that I brought up way back when. And I say you can open the new building window and shake hands with the window in the old house that's sitting next to it. I think it's a travesty. I don't care if it meets code, it's a travesty.
Yeah, we like infill. We like.
Yes,
we
but
have a
not
housing
like
issue.
that.
Well,
Just being devil's advocate a little. Throw something at me if you want. I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean,
I'd like to see Airbnbs have required the owners to live in it.
I would too.
That's what they do in Britain. And they're occupied, because then you don't have a whole neighborhood with no neighborhood because everybody's coming to look. But that's a different stuff.
well, I mean, that's going to be a state legislature that would have to impose that because they supersede. Yeah, we can't address Airbnbs, short-term rentals. Can't treat those any differently than any other
I thought we
single-family
could be
dwelling.
stricter than that. I thought we could be not more lenient than the state code, but we could be stricter. but not in that instance.
They pretty much take a lot of the authority of the local jurisdiction away with short-term rentals, so.
Well, I've got two, one right next to me and one a stone's throw away. And another one that just sold to, I believe, a family, but the realtors at the time were trying to get Airbnb people in there or apartment people in there, owners. Yeah, both of them. Well, no.
Well, let's get
And,
back to the
and,
subject. but-
and the Airbnb, which I think there are a lot more of them out there than is documented by far. But they also use that for frat parties. Frats would rent it on a weekend and then there would be frat parties.
But anyway,
Well, you mentioned frat
digress.
parties. You
Multi-family.
mentioned frat parties in the original.
We digress a little.
Sue's trying to keep us on task.
yeah, that is shocking.
Yeah, that is.
Any other thoughts on this?
Random or otherwise.
And we have the hors d'oeuvre prep area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess just
Charcuterie
to
wheel.
summarize, I mean, yeah, we have housing affordability issues here, and I mean, this has contributed to helping that, certainly. You know, and that's why really it hasn't been addressed up to this point. And I think density in this area certainly is probably a good thing. It's just gotten to a point where, you know, you're starting to dive into kind of the life safety aspects of these structures that are functioning like multifamily structures. And now, yeah, like all these structures here, the duplexes that have been built on the backside, those are all traditional duplexes. Those were, you know, built prior to kind of this evolution of having the in-suite in every bedroom type of situation. But yeah, there's been numerous complaints, mainly from adjacent businesses, of parking issues, just overflow, not enough parking, you know, off the alley. There's driveways off here, but you know, particularly this business over here has dealt with that enforcement parking issue for the last few years with their business.
Hayden Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole parking, as you move toward dense cities, you know, you just, it's hard for us to think. I just came back from New York, so I've been pounding around on the streets, and you think stuff happens in the dense cities that would kill us because everybody has a car here. Now in New York, everybody does not have, you have to earn
Yeah, but
100.
we don't have trains going anywhere.
Right,
We don't
exactly. No, and so
Well,
you can
back-
see that intersection from bucolic suburbia to city, when those two meet, we really run into problems. And parking probably is one of the most intense issues, because every little kid has a car and they only need one little. And in New York, you can do that because hell, you got all kinds of people living in 200 square feet, but they don't have a car.
They don't have a kitchen either.
Yeah,
There you go,
there
they
is
live in
some of that. Yeah,
closets. But anyway.
yeah, it's
Well, we're not
You can't even get to Pullman without a car. There's
trying,
no public transportation to even get to Pullman. You have to hire a taxi every day to go to Pullman.
I mean, Idaho's a long way from New York for sure.
we're not trying to discourage duplexes. We're trying to implement them the way they are intended so that they are safe.
Diplomatically.
Yes, yes. It's the infractions that are causing the problem.
So, you know, off-street parking requirements, some other things that we could look at. I mean, to a certain extent, when you put multiple structures on a single lot, I mean, if they were combined into one building, it'd be multifamily, and then you'd be subject to all multifamily parking requirements. But since they're still only single-family and two-family dwellings, even though there's multiple ones on a single lot, that still doesn't kick in the multifamily requirements. So, you know, there's not saying that full-blown ADA requirements for these structures, but right now, only single and two-family dwellings currently are permitted to reverse back out onto a street right away. So you have a driveway that reverses back out. We could potentially look at eliminating that allowance when there's more than one single-family or two-family dwelling on a single lot. You'd still be able to have parking on the alley and reverse back out on the alley. It's just there wouldn't be allowed to be a driveway coming off of the street and reversing back out. You'd have to do some type of parking lot on the property, which you maneuver and not reverse back out. And then tandem parking is currently permitted only for single and two-family dwellings. So you have commercial, multifamily, institutional. That tandem's parking is not allowed. We could look at, eliminating that allowance when there's more than one single-family or two-family dwellings on a single lot. So we could look at making that change. And then, so single-family, two-family dwellings, 2 parking spaces per dwelling unit plus 1 per bedroom in excess of 4 bedrooms. You look at adding a bedroom calculation, which clarified that, any separate room which has an egress window or door and a minimum of 70 square feet of floor area with no horizontal dimension less than 7 feet, which could legally be used as a sleeping room, regardless of whether there are such rooms labeled den, study, office, or similar, shall be counted as a bedroom for the purpose of this parking calculation.
Why do you have to have a closet to make it a bedroom?
No, there's no closets required. So this is, kind of getting back to, there's been instances where it's been clearly a bedroom, but it's been labeled bonus room or den or office or study, and trying to capture that park, the use that it's going to be regardless of what it's labeled, and still not, punish some of the other users that are actually using it for an office. And so, we'll have to,
Guess it depends on the definition of family then. Because if it's a person who's not a family member who's using your bonus room or your office, then it's a bedroom. But if it's a family member,
It's just an enforcement issue. Like
yeah.
you're
once
going to be
again,
knocking on doors
you don't
saying,
have
I need to
enforcement.
see all your driver's licenses.
Yeah.
That's when it gets like,
I know,
how are they
yeah,
supposed to
so
do that?
that's the,
Kinda
it's
tricky.
essentially just at plan review stage, is when we catch this. We're not, like Rich said, we're not knocking on doors, asking how many people are living there. And then this is kind of the open space. So right now, these would apply in like R4. So these are common open space requirements. So it's 400 square feet per lot as required below, whichever is greater, residential uses only. Or these are 75 square feet per dwelling unit. So right now R3, which allows multiple structures per lot, and single family and duplexes, doesn't have an open space requirement. So we'll just be carrying that over to R3. This is a small amendment. This is an error that we noticed in the table that we just add in as part of this. But if you look at functional open space, so right now, like I mentioned, potentially add that requirement to the R3 zone, and then amend the definition. So right now of our functional open space is land within a development which is permanently reserved as open space, free from permanent structures, useful for recreation or social use by the residents of the development or others. Such space should not include streets, roadways, or parking areas. The streets, roadways portion always befuddled me a little bit. I don't know that, you wouldn't really have a street or a roadway on the property. So essentially just not including the parking areas. So we look at maybe eliminating the last portion of that, and then saying such space shall be located on the ground level, may be provided via private yard, deck, or patio area. Functional open space should not include any parking areas, and the smallest dimension of such open space should not be less than 15 feet. This is kind of common for other open space requirements, like in our townhouse standards, can be, there's been other apartment complexes that have said that, well, there's a 5-foot setback between the building and the property line, and they add up kind of all those linear dimensions and they get the open space requirement. I think the intention has always been that it'd be a kind of a larger, more symmetrical area to provide the open space. But I'm not married to 15 feet. I just sounded, and I think that would get that, away from the 6 feet separation, and it would, require those buildings to be separated from each other more in order to satisfy a open space requirement. So that was kind of the intention of that.
I think we talked about a roadway going through, you said not a roadway going through the property. I just went at the end of Baker Street the other day and saw how there's basically a roadway going in and around the buildings. There's several different apartment. Off the street, there's one entrance, but then you have this loop that's a roadway going to each set of apartment buildings. So I think maybe that's.
Yeah, I mean, that would really be like a parking lot travel aisle, though. It wouldn't be necessarily a roadway. So, yeah.
It's paved.
Yeah.
It's paving you can pass, so I don't know.
Could a rooftop, one of the plans that you were showing had a rooftop deck. Could that be potentially considered a?
Right here, I purposely left that out. I mean, I don't know that, yeah, I think the intention here is to provide that separation and open space on the ground level. So, yeah, I mean, the thought here is just commission's thoughts on the proposed amendments, whether it's worthy to pursue any further, and then if so, direct staff to prepare an ordinance for the commission's consideration at an upcoming meeting to discuss.
So are you considering this R4 or R3? What your proposals, under two different, it's multifamily, but it's two different units. What are you saying to put it in R4?
No.
Or put it,
Well, these type of developments would be allowed in R3, R4, or RO,
okay,
and then some other commercial
Okay.
zones. So,
Okay.
yeah, it would apply universally to,
so it's not site specific.
no.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I really dislike this stuff. And the whole reason is I do not like taking people's creativity away when like you're looking at a site and really trying to do something positive. And I understand why you want to do something because I don't disagree that this isn't a life safety issue. I really feel like this should be in the building code. And I've had this
Oh.
discussion a lot that I don't, but I know I'm losing that discussion, but I just want to say that I'm not going to like, I'm happy to be part of the discussion and want to keep saying it, but I feel like I really like infill. I really like, I mean, we're a bedroom community of the University of Idaho. Like this is like, we have students, we have to deal with this stuff. We want the higher density close to downtown and the university. I mean, we want this stuff, but at the same instance, we don't like the life safety, like trying to, I mean, honestly, we're like, it's obvious we're trying to skirt any, like in most of these situations, they would be 100% allowed to build this as a multifamily structure,
Exactly.
right? These are in the R4 zone.
Yep.
They could build this as an R4, do the correct sprinkling, do the correct parking lot requirements, do all those things correctly, but they're doing this to avoid that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that that's the right thing, but I just don't like taking people's creativity because I think that we have a lot of unique properties all around Moscow. And I feel like everyone kind of is its own situation. And I feel like sometimes trying to get every round peg to fit in a square hole, it's just not working. So
So
like
you think creativity is fine as long as you have safety?
yeah, I'm not saying that I think that those should be built all around town. I definitely not saying that, but I hate taking creativity away. But I'm happy to go through this. I just wanted to
And I say,
throw that out there first thing because I really think we need it. I mean, I think a lot of this is needed, and it's hard to do these things. I mean, I've tried to do a lot of infill stuff and make angry neighbors and all sorts of stuff, but like you said, you don't want Airbnbs next to you. Like,
well, I don't know.
I'm
Just saying there's
I
issues.
get what you're saying.
I mean, one of them
I'm
I
just
think
saying,
is
like,
great.
nobody wants it in their backyard. I'm just not sure, like, some of these things, I'm trying to think through some of the unintended consequences that might happen by saying that you can't have a sink in a bedroom. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking of different
Yeah,
things. that
I
are
mean,
going
I'm all for creativity too, but I mean, this is a multifamily building. You know,
And that's why I'm saying I think the building code should be like, this is multifamily, try putting a sprinkler system in. And maybe we should be allowing, oh man,
Well,
No, no,
I think
no.
in a bedroom,
I'm going down a road now, but
I think in a bedroom is a studio apartment. It's multifamily.
maybe we should try and allow sprinkler systems to cost less money by allowing some things. There's City Moscow's could allow some things that would make sprinkler systems cost a lot less money for the end user. And maybe we should encourage some of those things. Maybe that's a good creative way. Oh, that's a totally different thing. But just throwing out some alternatives, like maybe if we could do sprinkler systems that were attached to the domestic water, so we don't have to does this thing need an alarm system? Let's talk about that. Do we think that this building would be safer with an alarm system? If it had a sprinkler system, are we worried about life safety anymore? If there was a sprinkler system there and no alarm?
Still need parking.
Okay, I'm just talking about the life safety portion. Parking isn't life safety.
well, yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, if you had the fire alarm and the sprinkler, then sure, go towards life safety. But then, I mean, if you look at, what we're going off of, look at the parking requirements. So there's 4 spaces required for a duplex. Now you got 13. So if you look at, talk to some of these developers, a lot of times they say the reason why they're going towards this model is because of parking requirements. So, I mean, we've had.
And you have a lot of tandem parking in R1 zones where people park in the garage and then you've got 2 sets of cars.
They're not even required to have that much parking though in single family. I mean, it's,
But, I mean, it's a tough topic because if you want density and you want multifamily in the right development, then you've got to eliminate some of the parking requirements because you can't fit it on the site. But then you get everybody from the neighborhood complaining about the parking requirements.
Absolutely, every single hearing.
If you think about, I still think Identity was a good project, but at 50% of the parking requirements. And now if you look at Jefferson and Adams and those areas, it's completely lined with cars on the street, and we've got complaint. Well, coming over from Identity, probably partly Gritman as well, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And you're close to the core downtown anyway. So, I mean, you have the space in front of your house and that's not yours. It's public parking. But yeah, I mean, we fielded complaints over and over again. I mean, the next door neighbor, the development had come in and talked to the commission for, I think, a year straight before a fence was built after Identity was brought in. I mean, I'm all for reducing parking requirements, but yet our office receives parking complaints a lot. And so,
Because we gotta get them off the street when you want to.
I mean, some municipalities are eliminating all parking requirements at all. So,
if it's close to the U of I think it's the direction we're headed. That's my opinion.
Well, as I always wanted.
I think if it's close to the University of Idaho, like I think we need to encourage people to drive less. I mean, have parking where they
Well, they
like
have to
if
have
you
a car
we're
to get to school from wherever home is.
I don't disagree.
Boise is.
So when you come here from Boise, you park your car at some lot somewhere. I mean, we got places that you can rent a place to park your car, and then you can go to school, walk around, and then when you're going back to Boise, you can go get your car.
I think they were doing that
Uh,
at
they-
Baby Dome lot, weren't they?
It's the direction we're going, whether we like it or not. And the
Well,
only
you can
way-
go south down my street where there's a lot of apartments and the students leave over winter. And then those cars are under piles and piles of snow. And eventually they get notified that you're going to get towed because they can't plow the street. So they warehouse them right
Well,
outside.
The university has allowed parking in the, by the interurban, by the
It seems-
modal center, the intermodal.
It does seem like we need, even though most of us are vaguely smart, more people.
Speak for yourself.
That's like intermittent.
We need a
saying.
couple of
Thanks, Neil.
developers beside Rick who can talk about this issue a little bit. And it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to even talk to somebody from Wazoo. In other words, as we get talking about the university, at least for 30 years, I've been pleading with presidents to think about building a parking structure. And they've all told me to go to hell. And yet Boise State and Wazoo have built parking structures, by the dozen. And so we haven't found the right leadership here. But this issue of being on campus is, in order to think about it really creatively, it'd be helpful to have a planning session where you could hear people make an argument for what's trying to happen. Because I think Rick's point of the situation around the university is clearly different than anything else in the region.
I don't want to make a bunch of duplex changes. I'll be honest. Like, I don't want to make a bunch of duplex changes to like that. All these problems, I mean, at least I think they're like really close to downtown or close to the university. And then we're trying to build some duplexes out on F Street that are really, that's a bad street to choose. Somewhere in a residential area where we're trying to allow some good 2-family dwellings, and somebody wants to do something like, sorry, you can't do that because of
Well,
whatever these rules.
these same structures are being built. I mean, the ones that I showed you here are not downtown in Almond Asbury. They're starting to be built further to the east into Fort Russell, into some of these other neighborhoods, Swedetown area. So, yeah, it's not just consolidated right by the university.
Imagine if there was one
They're
right
starting.
next door to him. We talk about this a lot.
It's got a historic apartment complex. next to it.
Right next door to you.
You
Your
got one right
backyard will
behind him.
never see sun again.
Is the alarm thing, it has to be tied into the fire department, or is it just,
Yes.
okay?
Current Moscow rules. Well, that's open up a Pandora's
Or-
box.
Or any multifamily?
Yes.
Well, I'm for creativity, infill, flexibility, all those things, affordability, all those things, but not at the expense of life safety or putting way undue pressure on neighborhoods in terms of parking,
Agreed.
So be creative, but you don't get to cheat,
Then there's Virginia, where you're not allowed to have a garage door facing the street because they think those are ugly, so all the garages have to be under and down around the back.
We did a whole subdivision that way because we don't like garages in the street,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Okay, anyone else got any questions or comments or concerns or?
Yeah, you gotta
Well,
you need to work on it.
Just-
Yeah, I would,
You
I
can
would,
go
say,
along.
I would say that I am, I believe there is a problem. I believe parking is a problem. And I'm,
And open space.
yeah, I think this conversation should proceed, and I'm not exactly sure where I come down on some of the specifics, but I'm definitely in favor of some things that will deal with some of the issues that have been pointed out tonight.
And if
So what kind of direction do we give staff?
continue.
Continue.
Work on it.
I think that's pretty much it.
Make some sausage.
Well, I think it needs more than just one little discussion.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so I can't get my mind around it immediately, just because I'm not dealing with that issue. So I think we need to have more than just one discussion on these points. So I think you should try to bring it to us in some different ways. That's what I was trying to suggest, is that,
Give us A, B, C, D, or all of the above.
huh?
Give us A, B, C, D, or all of the above. By giving different.
Yeah, yeah. And I, at least, I know you were presuming that we could, the pictures you showed of the infill, I couldn't get my head around it right away. I need to look at it a little more carefully and either drive down that alley or,
Show you.
you know, because you may be looking at it for 6 hours in your office, and then you presume that in 6 minutes we'll comprehend it the same way.
No, he
and I
didn't
don't think
presume
so.
that.
We've seen this development happening over there or along Almond and those streets, and it's exciting and troubling both as you drive down an alley and can't get through, or there's too much parking. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the yards all get parked on too.
I think we can.
So there's no
probably
yards.
all agree.
Ruts.
I haven't heard anything. But I think we can all agree that this qualifies more as multifamily than a duplex. I think that was your main point to start with.
Yes, that's what it looks like to me, yeah. For sure.
They're illegally
Probably
building
agree on
multifamily
that.
complexes.
Mhm.
They're illegally building multifamily complexes. They're calling it a duplex, but it is not.
That's correct.
Yep, that's what you're saying.
Well, Mike, did that give you any direction?
It does, yeah. I'll come back at first meeting in January with some more.
We spent,
And yeah, I'm just a little slow with it. Maybe I'm just getting too old. Maybe we both better leave. Okay, great.
Can I offer just
It's a-
one more
it's a-
thing?
it's a
Yeah,
great
I'm trying
issue.
to take up all the time, but I want to say one more thing. So I'm always a proponent for trying to work with people. So I'm just trying to come up with something creative, and I know this is probably crazy, but just one more thing. What if we offered something like, if you put a 13D sprinkler system in
Then what?
and follow parking lot standards, then that is an alternative. Just throwing out an idea. You
It's
just
still
think
called
about that. I
it's
just
still
came up with
called
that in 30 seconds. Don't like hold me to any of that, but I'm just throwing it out there.
it's not a duplex. By
Okay, is that
definition.
everything?
not.
Got anything else?
That's why they can't enforce it in the building code, because they say that.
Oh,
You're
it's a
wrong.
great issue. Thanks for, it's absolutely hot. I see
Hot
it
topic.
and I'm ready for it, but I'm ready to listen to some more. Yeah.
Transportation report? Ready for that?
But do you want a motion?
No.
Okay.
Just to direct staff to.
Yeah, I think we had that direction.
Or do you
We
need
didn't really have a
and
motion.
and
It's an
a
action.
second and all that?
Probably be good to have a motion in a second. Yeah.
What do I hear a motion to direct staff to provide us with further direction
Yeah.
or whatever?
We'll do
that good?
that.
Help us
I'll
out
even
here.
second it.
Second that?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to go both this way, Sue.
Aye.
Go.
Aye.
I-
Go.
Rob. I think that
Rick?
was that an aye. Aye.
That's
Aye
an
and aye.
We,
All right.
we
Hope that's
spent,
good enough for you, Mike.
we spent several
Bring us
meetings.
something. All right, Transportation Commission meeting report.
Uh,
Is there a game
transport-
on or something?
Transportation has a short report. We are scheduled to meet for the first time in several weeks at least, tomorrow. And the main topic of discussion is apparently staff is working to prepare a surface transportation block grant and wants to discuss the issues with us.
As opposed to underground transportation.
Not getting a tunnel?
So
Okay,
they're
is that
meeting,
everything?
meeting in this room at 4
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Rob's
Mr.
last
Chair?
day. We should talk about this.
Well, it's on my list. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay, good work.
Well,
ahead,
I
Rob.
just wanted to say this is my last meeting after 10+ years. It's been an honor to work with all of you. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed. And Mike's guidance and Jennifer's support are just superb. And I thank you for all those years. You've been absolutely fabulous. So thank you all for a real privilege to be here. I'm going to miss you. I really will. I don't know that I'll miss Wednesday nights at 7:00. I'll miss all of you. So.
And we appreciate your time that you, not only being a member, but also being willing to chair on many.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, what was it? Like hit 10 years?
I came back or came in for Wendy when she left, and then I was chair for the next 2 years, I think, and then.
Well, it was an honor to learn from you, to
Oh,
follow you.
you
You've
do
taught me
such a
everything,
great-
how these
you-
meetings run, and
You're
it
a
was,
great. You're
it was
great-
a, it was a blessing to have someone to
This-
follow like you.
This is just a good group, and it's a.
We
fun
got you a
group.
little something. We
Oh,
didn't bust
dear.
the budget.
Oh,
but-
gosh. Thank you.
Very
Oh,
good.
Thanks.
Very
Well,
good.
I'll
Thanks for
take
your
you out
commitment.
wherever it is. If you tell me when you retire and all. Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
everybody.
Gonna die right here.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, not to detract from the revelry of your retirement, but this will also probably be my last meeting as council liaison for P and Z, because we will get a new slate of counselors coming early January, and chances are you will be with a new council liaison starting in January. But when I got elected a couple of years ago, I specifically wanted to be the council liaison for this commission for the sake of learning. And I have learned so much in the last 2 years listening to you all work through problems, and who knew that duplexes could be so hot. Right? And so when
Or that
people
would even care.
and so when I'm talking with people out in the community and they ask about P and Z, I tell them it's the weeds of the city operations, right? Like this is where the sausage gets made often, right? Or at least the sausage gets thrown at the wall.
Or us.
Yeah, and I just want to say it's been a real joy learning from you all, and I look forward to seeing where and how the commission continues to move forward. And if there's ever anything I can do, please feel free to reach out. But just wanted to say thank you.
Thanks,
So,
Bryce.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, of course.
Stuff. Glad to have you.
You can break in the new person.
Yeah, it might be. He might be sitting here. Who knows? Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure it'll be a fight.
big fist fight. Yeah, exactly.
Well, he spent a lot of time on the Board of Adjustments, so he knows about these kinds of meetings. So.
All right, Mike, any announcements or anything?
I think what our next meeting is Christmas Eve, so I think we'll probably cancel that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
And yeah, it'll be first
Be
meeting in
canceled, yeah.
January.
First meeting in January. Okay. All right, does anyone else have anything for the good of the order? My man here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. We'll adjourn. Thank you.